What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about a few weapons which I would like to see return from Star Wars Battlefront 1 in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Before we get fully into this video, let me know down in the comment section below what Star Wars Battlefront 2 weapons or star cards you would like to see returning in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Battlefront 2. But now let's get into the topic of this video. So the first weapon I would like to see return in Battlefront 2 from EIII's first Battlefront game is the EIII. The EIII is an optically fitted blaster rifle capable of 3-round burst fire at long ranges. It's also the weapon of Boba Fett. Now we know this weapon will be returning in Battlefront 2 for Boba Fett, but we do not know whether or not the EIII will return as a weapon that can be used by the infantry classes in Battlefront 2. Will it only be able to be used by Boba Fett, or, like I said, will it be a weapon for one of the classes? Well, I would like to see it be one of the weapons for the classes, and I believe that the EIII, because it's a long-range rifle, would be suitable for the Specialist class in Battlefront 2, especially for the original trilogy era, because that is where we get to see that weapon. Would I like to see the EIII changed at all in Battlefront 2? Probably not. I feel like the EIII in the first Battlefront game was very well balanced. It was quite good at close range, and it was also quite good at long range, and the reason I think it would be good for the Specialist class is because of its scope. You can see on the weapon that it does have the scope attachment, and it is a weapon that is meant to be used for long ranges, which would suit the Specialist class a lot more than the other classes in the game. Whether or not the EIII will be a weapon that can be used by any classes, we do not know yet. Hopefully we will get to see it return in Battlefront 2, and not just for Boba Fett. The second weapon I would like to see return in Battlefront 2 is the Relby V10 rifle. This blaster acquired infamy, being wielded by the ferocious bounty hunter boss. It has an incredibly sensitive trigger, which proves useful for close range. If Bosk is a hero in Battlefront 2, then I imagine the Relby V10 will return as his weapon. Whether or not it will be a weapon that can be used by other classes in the game, we do not know. It has not been confirmed from what I know myself. If the Relby V10 does return in Battlefront 2 for the infantry classes, I imagine that this weapon would be pretty good for the assault class. Now the reason I've said that is because the Relby V10 is quite a close range weapon, although in Battlefront 2, with it being a semi-automatic blaster, it was extremely good for long ranges. Would I like to see the Relby V10 changed in Battlefront 2? I think so. With the Relby V10 being quite a close range weapon, and extremely good in close quarter combat, I think the Relby V10 should be turned into more of a sort of shotgun type weapon than a semi-automatic rifle, which is really good at long range. The Relby V10 being used as a sort of shotgun type weapon in Battlefront 2 for the assault class could be extremely cool, and it definitely would suit the assault class. The assault class is very much about getting up close and personal with the enemy. It's quite a fast moving class, it's quite light. It allows you to run around the map quite quickly, so if the Relby V10 was turned into more of a sort of shotgun weapon and was on the assault class, it could be very, very deadly. The next weapon I'd like to see return in Battlefront 2 is the SE-14C, which is a blaster pistol that fires 5-round bursts, making it ideal for close quarter combat. If the SE-14C is going to be in Battlefront 2, I imagine it will be a weapon for the officer class. It could even be a weapon for the assault class, if it was turned into a more sort of submachine gun type weapon, which I would like to see happen. So would I like to see the SE-14C changed? Yes, of course I would. I think the SE-14C could work extremely well as a sort of submachine gun rather than a pistol. I know in Star Wars it is actually a blaster pistol, which is why I think it would suit the officer class more in Battlefront 2 if it was to return. I really like the SE-14C in Battlefront 1. At points it was quite overpowered, but overall I felt like it was a very well balanced weapon, so to see it return in Battlefront 2 would be a great thing for me personally. It is one of my favourite weapons in the game. The next weapon I'd like to see return in Battlefront 2 is a very controversial one. It is the EIII. The EIII was constructed with a short and stubby barrel to allow it to fire more effectively at a closer range with spread shots. Despite the reduction in accuracy at range, the weapon makes up for it with a greater rate of fire. The EIII, now a lot of people are going to complain about this because it is quite a spammy weapon in the first Battlefront game by EIII. So you're probably thinking, why would I want to see it return? And I'd like to see it return because it was quite a sort of unique weapon in the game. There was no weapon that was really like it. The fact that EIII in Battlefront 1 fired a sort of burst shot, but it was also kind of like a shotgun in a way, makes it really interesting, and I find you have to have quite a unique playstyle to actually use the EIII quite effectively. However, I do understand that it's an extremely spammy weapon in close range situations, but the EIII is built for close quarter combat, so it makes sense that it is used at close range. Would I like to see it changed in Battlefront 2? I think it could be changed to be a bit more like a shotgun again. Now, I don't want loads and loads of shotguns in Battlefront 2, but I think the EIII is definitely more of a shotgun than a burst fire SMG shotgun hybrid type thing. And I feel like if you turned it into a shotgun that, say, fired at a slower rate, it would become a lot less spammy than it is in Battlefront 1. That's what everybody has the problem with, how spammy it is. So if you slow down the fire rate in Battlefront 2, or even change how it fires to make it more like a shotgun, so I think it should be definitely changed if it does return in Battlefront 2. The next weapon I'd like to see return in Battlefront 2 is the DT-29. This is the signature heavy blaster of Orson Krennic, which is fitted with an energy pack that greatly enhances its stopping power and rate of fire. Now, I imagine if Krennic is in Battlefront 2, this will be his weapon like it was in the first Battlefront game, but Krennic is not confirmed for Battlefront 2, so we might not get to see the DT-29 at all. However, if Krennic wasn't in the game and they put the DT-29 in, I think it would be a really cool weapon for the officer class. I don't really think I would like to see it changed too much for Battlefront 2. The only thing I would maybe like to see changed is the reload speed be a little bit quicker, or maybe you fire more shots before it does actually need to be reloaded. The fact that it was a sort of revolver type weapon in Battlefront 1 made it really interesting and really unique. Again, there was no other weapon in Battlefront 2 like the DT-29, so it definitely stood out. But again, with Krennic not being confirmed for Battlefront 2, I'm not sure if we will get to see the DT-29 at all. If it's not in Battlefront 2, it will be a bit of a shame, but I'm not going to cry if it does not appear in Battlefront 2. The final weapon is a weapon which took a very long time to come to Battlefront 1, and when it came in a very interesting way. And this weapon is the CG9 Bore rifle, which originated from the Lasat. The Bore rifle became renowned as a weapon owned solely by the one strong enough to defeat its wielder. The rifle has a reliable fire output, although what defines it is its forward-facing staff, capable of delivering lethal melee strikes. This again was a very unique weapon in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it was highly requested by the community. Everybody wanted to see the CG9 Bore rifle in Star Wars Battlefront 2 because of the unique staff that is on the weapon, that is its melee ability. If the CG9 Bore rifle was going to be in Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think it could do very well on the heavy class, although its scope and its fire rate does sort of suit the specialist class a little bit more. I feel like because it has the melee ability, it looks like quite a heavy weapon. It should really be a heavy class primary weapon. I really do hope they put the CG9 Bore rifle in Battlefront 2. It is one of my favourite weapons again, and like I said, it came in a very interesting way into the first Battlefront game. The weapon worked as a viral pickup. You had to kill someone who already had the CG9 Bore rifle, then they would drop a token, and then once you picked that token up, you owned the CG9 Bore rifle for yourself. It was a really cool way to do it, and it made the weapon a big fan favourite. I never heard one person complain about the weapon coming into Battlefront 1, so I really do hope to see it return in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like I said at the start of this video, let me know down in the comments section below what weapons and star cards you would like to see return in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to smash a like on it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars Battlefront 2 and other Star Wars games. Other than that, may the Force be with you.